Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 91 of the Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast. This podcast is brought to you by our friends at Cosmic Eye Brewing. Check them out on Instagram at cosmiceye.beer. Sam Riggins, who was on episode 4 with Sacha from Intronaut, had a dream to open up a brewery in Lincoln, Nebraska, and he did. The doors are open. It was an amazing journey to follow on Instagram. You could see them building the furniture and getting all the equipment ready with him and his family. It's a family-run business, so go out and support, not some corporate nonsense. They're true metalheads, fans of pretty much everyone I've had on this podcast. And if you show up at the brewery wearing any metal shirt or any Cosmic Eye gear, you'll get $1 off a full pour. And while you're out there, pick up some of their cans. In this episode, I talked to Head Ned of Okilly Dokilly. Okilly Dokilly is the world's only Nedal band. If you don't know what that means, that's a Ned Flanders from The Simpsons themed band. We talk about their career. We talk about their upcoming new album, Howdilly Twodilly, which comes out March 29th. We talk about their current tour and the bands that they're playing with. We talk a little bit about what the future might hold and what potential projects they might do afterwards. I had a really great time talking to him, and I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to check out the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/rockandrollbeerguy and get access to a bunch of exclusive interviews I did at Psycho Las Vegas. While you're at it, leave us a review on iTunes. Those really do help us out. And follow us on social media. Cheers.
Hello?
Hello. Is this Head Ned?
Is this Eddie?
Yes, it is.
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Keeping busy. Sorry about the delay on that. We've been going through some merch, and so I was having to coordinate a, last minute, what, city do we need to Hail Mary these boxes to get them in on time. But, yeah, it's all set and good to go.
That's awesome, man. That's a thing that a lot of fans don't realize. It's the coordination that you have to do when you're an independent band like this, making sure you have merch is super important.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, your whole world and your office and everything just exists in one small, tiny van for about a month or so. And time goes by quickly, too. But it's fun. It's absolutely fun.
Well, let me do a little introduction here. Welcome, everyone, to the Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast. I'm with Head Ned of the band Okilly Dokilly.
Howdilly Twodilly.
Yeah. So, for those that are not aware, it's a Ned Flanders themed death metal band, right? Is that what you would call it?
Yeah. We usually go with the term Nedal.
Right. The world's only Nedal band.
Yeah.
So you guys are going through merch. That's a good sign. How are the shows doing? I'm supposing successful at this point.
Yeah, really fun. This is kind of tour number 4 for us. and it's definitely, the crowds are growing. It's really fun shows, really great fans. I love seeing all the different Simpsons tattoos in every city and all the stories that people have, and it's really great.
So, I mean, do you interact with people in character while you're out there?
Yeah. I mean, all the shows kind of go in character. Usually interactions after the show, I'll kind of, de-Ned a little bit, return to non-Ned form, have a beer, hang out with some fans. But yeah, ramping up to the show and live, it's there are no broken characters there.
Nice, very nice. And you guys have a new album, the Howdilly Twodilly. That's coming out in March, right? March 29th?
Yep. That'll be out on March 29th. We launched the music video and a new song, Re-Education, for that one earlier this month. And yeah, we should have some more singles out at least before the album hits.
That's awesome, man. And how do you guys pick like the themes that you're going to go for the songs?
Picking the themes for the songs kind of, when we first started, well, all of the songs, or at least a vast majority of them, are like direct to Ned quotes. Mm-hmm. So I'll kind of go through and pick two different sorts of things. I'll pick something that Ned says that, like, out of context is very dark and very fitting for, like, a metal song. Or I'll pick something that Ned says that's very goofy and does not fit a metal song at all, and then just scream those lyrics. So those are kind of the two. It's the non-goofy making it heavy, or something that could be misconstrued as heavy, making it heavy.
All right. I like that. That's awesome. And it's kind of a similar thing to the vibe that like Death Clock was doing, where it was, super low growls, intense death metal. Is that the right genre?
Yeah, definitely. Like, very, very Death Clock influenced and stuff.
Have you ever reached out to Brendan Small to maybe collaborate or something like that?
I haven't, but I haven't really had that idea, and I think they would be great. Funny enough, one of the things when we're like at venues and we're about to play the show, a lot of like times we'll have the people running sound ask us like, "Oh, what do you want us to play on like the loudspeaker?" And Death Clock is kind of one of our go-tos. Nice. But yeah, that would be great. I mean, that'd be a cool idea. I might have to kind of pitch that to the band.
Yeah, I mean, Ned Flanders meets Death Clock and tries to save them or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, have you guys been reached out to by the Simpsons folks about the whole thing, or?
We had, early on, somebody who said they worked for Matt Groening reached out and they said they thought it was great. And then Al Jean, who's been a longtime producer on the show, tweeted about us a while back. But that's about it as far as like contact. We thought we were going to get a cease and desist letter 2 days in, but that's yet to happen. And we're thankful for it and glad to be touring around and all that fun stuff without having been sued.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they see the value in it. They may not be their style of music or, a product that they're producing, but you're helping promote the brand as well, so why not?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, a lot of fans of us are definitely big-time Simpsons fan. It's a shared audience, and I don't think anybody out there has come to us thinking that we are in any way associated with or put on by the show themselves.
Right.
I think we're kind of safe there.
Yeah, I think you guys will be all right. I mean, I talked to the guys from Galactic Empire that kind of do the Star Wars metal. And
yeah, I know those guys.
Those dudes are cool, and they haven't really heard much, on their end as well. So.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's good news.
Yeah. So if you were to pick a different character, like let's say 4 albums from now, you're like, hey, we need to switch it up or something. What other character would you pick?
Oh, geez.
From The Simpsons.
Man, as far as like puns go, because much of our decision making, probably about 90% of it is just driven by what puns we can create out of things. Right. Coming up with the word Nedal was there. There's, Bartcore.
Nice.
We've had the idea of doing like a crusty punk band
that'd be great.
that is just, acoustic instruments and unsettling laughter. I think that'd be good. Yeah. So we could do grindcore Willie and just have like bagpipes and death guitars.
Viking vocals.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. And I mean, if we're branching out to different shows, I've always wanted to start a like Futurama-based Scruffy the Janitor band.
Oh, dude, there's so much content.
I think that'd be good.
There's so much content there.
Boiling the toilets. Even a bender band. Bite my shiny death metal. I think that. We've got a list. Last one I think would be just King of the Hill band called Propane and Discomfort.
That's awesome. I love that. I hope that happens. I really do.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Have you seen every single episode of The Simpsons? Because I've tried and I can't. It's too many.
I'm not going to claim that I can, and I haven't like sat down and like dedicated myself to that as much as I would love to, but I can claim that the first 10 seasons I sat down and watched every episode in 1 month.
That seems to be the number, by the way. I myself stopped around season 10, and I have a few friends as well. So I don't know what happened in season 11 that everybody kind of just fell off.
I mean, I still enjoy the show far past that, like even now.
Oh, sure. If it's on, I'm watching.
But I've definitely. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I've definitely heard there's a lot of people who like really love those early like first 10. Some people cut it off at like 12, 13. That really, really enjoy like that core of the show, and I think that set the show up for this just very legendary status that it has.
For sure, I think it just has to do with people growing out of it, getting old, getting jobs, getting more bitter, and not having time for awesome cartoons.
Yeah, I know that's terrible. It's something we need to change.
Yeah, right. I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, that's all. At this point, that's where I'm at. It's like put your head down and grind it out, and hopefully,
Yeah. Hopefully, you'll have more time for cartoons in the future.
Oh my goodness, that'd be great. I mean, I try. I would have to take away from sleep, right? Like it's like all right, I'm gonna not sleep an hour and watch something because otherwise, you get what's the Jack Nicholson quote? All work and no play. It's no fun.
Yeah, you got to make some kind of sacrifices.
For sure. What would you say is your favorite episode that you've seen?
Oh boy, favorite episode. That's a tough one. There's so many good ones. Right now, we've been constantly quoting the Mr. Plow episode just because we've been driving all throughout the Pacific Northwest, and it's like I've seen more snowplows in the last 3 days than I've seen the entire rest of my life. So that one's coming to mind a lot. I think one of my like key favorites though is the Hurricane Nettie episode. Just because it goes deep into the history of Ned Flanders, his lousy beatnik parents, and the scene where he snaps and goes around and yells at the town. Especially calling Lenny a jerk. He's like, I don't even know you, but I'm sure you're a jerk. To me, that's quality content.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Man, have you ever had something happen on tour, something that stands out, something crazy that happened because of the character?
Because of the character.
Yeah, any crazy Simpsons fans or something like that,
We do have a lot of fans that like dress up for shows, and it's awesome. We have quite a few like bonus Neds like every show or so.
The crowd.
Yeah, quite a few bonus Neds. We've had like a Sideshow Bob. We've had like an Otto. Not too terrible much that's been crazy based on the character. We did have someone recently at a show who came up to us and said that their next door neighbor growing up, they know, was the influence for Ned Flanders. So they kind of grew up next to the real Ned Flanders and described him and had all this great inside information about it. Yeah, that was really great. But yeah, as far as that goes, nothing else we did break down one time next to a bar, and one of the owners and one of the guys working at the bar happened to know the band and actually gave us a ride to the parts store so we could get our van fixed and still made it to the show on time.
Oh shit! Wow, that's crazy. Are you a family man? Do you have a wife and kids or?
I am married but no kids. I've got my mod, but no Rod and Todd. Not just yet.
Is that in the works? Is it the plan? Just go full Ned?
Pretty soon, yes. Yeah, exactly. I have been lobbying to name them Rod and Todd. It is not going well.
Oh, does the wife approve? I mean, is she happy about it, or is she kind of like eye rolls, like, oh, come on?
Well, as far as the band goes, she helps run all of our merch and tours with us and everything.
That's
so
awesome.
She's fully approving of that, but yeah, not so much of the naming of the small ones based off that. I don't think they'd be too happy either. Like,
yeah.
It's like growing up, they're like, oh yeah, we were named because our dad was in a weird band.
Yeah, that would be weird. So while you're on tour, do you take time off to go visit things? Do you look for something in each town you're going to, like a good restaurant or a good store for books or comics or anything like that?
To an extent, yeah. Like we'll find places and stuff. We used to like a lot of times we'd go find like arcade bars and just play NBA Jam or of course
Nice.
the Simpsons arcade game. And we've had the opportunity to hit some odd places. We don't really choose when we have a day off, but we happen to have time. Went and saw Niagara Falls. We were in the UK recently and happened to get a quick opportunity to go see Stonehenge.
Oh, nice. Yes.
So we did that. Yeah, we brought the band mandolin out, and our bassist Ned played Nigel's theme next to Stonehenge in reference to a little Spinal Tap.
Nice. That's badass, man. I mean, I love traveling. I love going to certain places, and I even enjoy doing the touristy shit at least once. I know I can get redundant and weird, but like you gotta go. Everyone that comes to California, friends of mine that come to visit, I'm like, is this your first time? You have to go do the Hollywood Walk of Fame and the Chinese Theater. You gotta go do that at least once.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just to see it, I was in Nashville and went and saw all the like country bars and stuff like downtown, and like it was very fun. And yeah, I love doing all the little touristy stuff.
Yeah, man. It's and have you ever done that kind of stuff in character, and maybe like done a video or something?
No, we haven't had the opportunity to do that. Though I have been to a Comic-Con in character.
Nice.
And it's funny how it's a character that you're surrounded by big, crazy, wild costumes and all these things, and it's a very easy character to go incognito in.
Yeah, it's just a sweater.
Yeah, people thought I was just somebody's dad that was lost. And so only a few people would go like, oh, wait, you're Ned Flanders, aren't you? And I'd be like, yeah. And then, so it was nice. It was nice for me. I didn't attract a ton of attention, but I was still kind of playing the game, being part of the Comic-Con.
That's awesome, man. And growing up, do you have any similarities to like the Ned Flanders? Like, was your family like a Catholic household, or how was it for you growing up?
Not so much, but my dad, though right-handed, was like very fascinated with left-handers, and I am left-handed. And so he bought me books. One was called Natural Superiority, the left-hander. One was all about left-handed people. So like that part of it was very set up there. I didn't curse until I was like 17 years old, and despite my family not having any issues or rules against that, I just decided not to. Yeah, I don't know. Even right now, before touring, I was an accountant. There's just a lot of very boring facts about me that really align with a lot of just the very squareness of Ned Flanders, and I love it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I think that's about it.
What are some of the bands you listened to growing up that kind of influenced you taking this direction? Because I mean, If you grew up on country, there's
geez.
probably no reason why you'd go death metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that my like musical mix growing up was just such an obscure potpourri of things. That's why I kind of landed on this. Like the first concert I ever went to was Elton John. The first CD I ever owned was the soundtrack to the Pokemon first movie. And my dad would like, he had 2 CDs in his car. I think one was a Tool CD and the other was like Nora Jones. So like my mom was always into like Duran and Talking Head stuff, and yeah, growing up I found like a lot of heavier things, and then just bounced around to different genres. So yeah, it's hard. There's not really like one musical genre or artist that I can say influenced it. It was just this band is the result of a fondue of a childhood of odd influences.
The fondue, I like that. That's wild, man. Yeah, I mean, I had a weird childhood growing up too. My parents were Hispanic, so I had a lot of salsa and a lot of like Sade and the Bee Gees and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My dad was way big into like Cuban music too, so we'd always have that playing at parties. I would listen to that. And I don't know. Yeah, I think that's a lot of people nowadays too, with Spotify and all the media out there. A lot of people aren't just like connected to one genre so much as everyone has like a very like varying taste.
Yeah, and the reason I'm bringing this up is I'm wondering what future generations are going to be like, because listening to you right now, you said your dad listened to Tool, but that's what I was listening to. I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit older, but. And then like my parents were classical rock, like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and all that nonsense. And then I'm wondering what like if I were to have kids, they're gonna grow up listening to Gojira and Opeth and I want to know what these children are gonna produce. You know what I mean, music wise.
Yeah, like Mastodon and August Burns Red.
Yeah.
And like I really think that like it's tough for us to consider, because we were very limited in the music that we could pick, and so everyone had kind of like the music that was their favorite or influenced them. And I think the next generation, because they have access to so much media, will like, and you even see it now. There's the kids growing up today that are listening to Pink Floyd and to Led Zeppelin, and because they have access to it, and it's it's there. I think it might just go full circle. Yeah, everything tends to do that. So like our kids are going to be listening to what our grandparents listened to, and their kids are going to listen to what we listen to, and I think it might just kind of turn into that Spotify loop of generational musical taste.
I hope that's something there. I hope there is a break in that cycle though, just because I like when things evolve and and it's not just music, but we have all this access to movies and film and shows and all kinds of entertainment, aside from music. And it's like a sensory overload, you know what I mean? And I hope that all of this information does provide like some kind of creation of something awesome,
Yeah, exactly. If the Simpsons haven't done it first, though.
That is true, man. So you guys are on tour right now. Who are the bands again that you're with?
It is us, and we're touring with a band called Playboy Man Baby.
That's right. That was the name that stuck out to me. I'm like, what is that?
Oh man, Playboy Man Baby is they're an experience. They're like musically it's very hard to say, but I kind of hear them as like a B-52s type of Talking Heads type of like grittier version of that. And the first ever show I saw of them, the lead singer plugged in a microwave up front, made Hot Pockets the entire show, and threw them out at the crowd just as they were finishing songs.
Nice.
They're very fun. They're very like kind of, they've got a punk influence to them, and they play to a room, and they're such a good time.
That's awesome. I'm a big pro wrestling fan, so I'm all about a really good gimmick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they're definitely, and there is this like when they're playing on the stage, there is this like a bit of a pro wrestling excitement they're kind of the pro wrestler of punk bands.
That's great. That's great. And so how long is this tour going for? How many more days you got?
So we've got, I think somewhere between 8 and 10 shows left. It was 25 shows total. And yeah, we've got 2 more in kind of the Colorado area, and then we're kind of Midwest and down to Texas a bit. So yeah, somewhere between 8 to 10. Without the paper in front of me, I've lost count entirely. 8 more? My sources are telling me that we've got 8 more shows. 8
more shows. And then you got the album coming out. Are you going to hit the road again for a longer tour cycle?
Yeah, we are. We've actually got the Howdilly Twodilly, which is our Howdilly Twodilly tour. I told you, just drive 90% of this band. And yeah, so we're taking off on tour. That'll be mostly East Coast, but that'll be right after we release the record, and we'll be playing a couple more new tunes and things.
Word. What would be your fantasy tour package that you would take out? Like, which bands would you want to be on tour with right now? Aside from the awesome bands you're with right now, no disrespect to them. I'm just saying, what's next?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we definitely have them. Oh, man. I'd love called Dr. Colossus, which is another, they're a Simpsons-themed doom metal band.
Oh, boy.
And just for the pure factor of having, those 2 bands together, I think it would be great. We mentioned Death Clock. Doing a tour with those guys, I think, would be amazing. And this one might come out of right field, but I'd love to tour with the Aquabats.
Nice.
One of the first ever mosh pits I was in was at an Aquabats show, and they put on a very fun and colorful show, and I know the music might differ a little bit in just the amount of screen.
That's awesome, man. No, yeah, I like the Aquabats. They're awesome. I'm trying to remember where I saw them somewhere. I just can't even think right now. Might have been Psycho Las Vegas or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever played Psycho?
Yeah, they put on a great show. No, we've done a bunch of club tours, but we've played very festival shows, and I think that's something we'd like to do potentially later.
Yeah, those are fun, man. The Psycho is one of my favorites just because it's a whole weekend of everybody trapped in a hotel going, doing pool parties and listening to awesome music.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I think you guys would be a perfect fit for that show too. So maybe I'll send an email out or something.
Yeah, it'd be great. We'll talk to our agent too. We've got a guy who helps us book shows and things, and so yeah, we'll lay that on him.
For sure, man. Well, I am excited to hear the new album, dude. I hope I can catch you guys out in the West Coast at some point. I know you guys just played LA not too long ago, but I work at Square Enix right now, so my schedule is just not allowing me to go to shows.
Oh, killer. The video game development?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's where I've seen that.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I was going to say that's where I've seen that name before. I'm not sure if that's a 100% or just a part of what Square Enix does.
Yeah, no, they do games. They do video games like Final Fantasy and the Kingdom Hearts Disney game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. There's a new Kingdom Hearts that coming out. I get disconnected from the world on tour.
Yeah, I know. It came out recently. And yeah, it's just, I get to work there, but it's cool, but the hours don't let me go to shows. I get out at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Geez. Well, yeah. Well, we'll if we try and play in LA, we'll try and do something around midnight or so. Occasionally our shows go that late as well too.
Word. Yeah. Well, either way, next time you guys are in the area, I'll take the day off and we'll go.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, man. Thanks for calling in and doing the interview with us, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, totally a lot of fun. Thanks so much, Eddie.
All right, man. Cheers.
Take care. Cheers.